Hi guys, welcome to the week 2 meeting. Last week we discussed the action plan of what we'll be doing each week and all of your roles. I went through the finance budget that me and Zara created, and we discussed the mission and vision statement with marketing director Emily, and we discussed conflict structures and what route we're going to go down for the film. This week I've created job descriptions and a personal specification for all of you, but you guys haven't seen it yet because I was editing it. But this is basically it. So it has your name, your job titles, your job specification, which is basically what the main purpose of your job is, and where you'll be doing it. So whether you'll be doing it at home or the majority of it in the meetings or at uni. I went through the main duties and what you will need to have got your job. So personal specifications, so that involves your qualifications and some skills that you will need to work at your job efficiently. So I'll post it on the Facebook group later, so you guys can see that. Shall we start with you, Emily? About the marketing statement and the target market and some research you did.
Okay, so to begin with, I researched existing companies which have done training DVDs, and I come up with 6 websites which I found, and they weren't DVDs in particular, they were just short clips they had on there. So I couldn't really find any DVDs which people produce for training. But when I went on Amazon, I found one, and I searched resolving conflict at work. And it cost £157.66. So obviously I think that's just a broader DVD, a lot of things. Most of them, pretty much all of them, was to do with harassment. So I think that's why we should focus on harassment then, because that's common. So obviously that's where I was a bit stuck on the pricing of it, because all of them were free clips online. So then when I looked on Amazon, I looked at the standard DVD price, and so for pre-releases and pre-booking them, movies such as Maleficent, which is a new movie coming out, is £10. So obviously, as you said, we should make it a bit more expensive, so 20, because we're obviously providing a service.
Yeah. So the pricing, as you said, our main competitor is this DVD on Amazon for £157. Do you think we should look at the value that it creates and the contents of it and try and recreate that, but for £20? So we're kind of undercutting this product, and we'll be fulfilling the same purpose, but for £20. So it will be a lot more affordable for HR directors to purchase. So
how long was that video?
I don't know.
Didn't pay for it.
£160. Yeah, I can see what if there's different chapters almost.
Yeah, see if there's a content or what it covers and that.
I think they should send a description how long it is if you scroll.
I'm just that's too expensive.
Close. But that's the only one that's actually priced that you could find.
Yeah.
So
all the rest were some of them were 1.5 minute clips on the websites.
It's really short.
Did you look on YouTube?
Because they're not DVDs, are they? Because we're obviously going to produce.
Yeah, lack of credibility on YouTube.
But I mean, they might have put them online, other students might have done and put them online and stuff like that. Yeah. But I reckon there's got to be some sort of harassment videos online, tutorials of how to deal with it. Yeah.
But if there's so many out there, shouldn't we come up with something new and independent?
Well, I think we should use those videos and then find our own take on it.
Okay, so
and expand on
you
it.
guys want to use the harassment and nothing else, of the
yeah, we should focus on that. Yeah. Okay.
How long is our video meant to be?
5 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, we don't really have time, do we, to do anything on harassment, just a few scenarios sort of thing. But we could look for videos to see how they've done it. We could do a scenario and then after do an explanation of how you deal with it, or see how these videos have done
that.
Yeah,
a few explanations of different ways to deal with it.
And like I said, maybe you can find some laws and stuff of how people have dealt with it in the past, and famous cases. Like that Sky Sports one where, I don't know if you know about that one, with Andy Gray. Where
I searched about it.
Yeah, he done a commentary and it was a woman linesman, and he was saying well, he was just saying sexual stuff about referees and stuff like that. So that's a famous one. So and he got sacked. So stuff like that.
Okay, cool. So your marketing statement. Oh, wait, should we all decide on a price? So you guys all happy with £20? Do you think that's affordable?
It's only
There's
5
market
minutes, isn't
for
it? So.
It is, yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
just a prototype. That's what we're creating now. I mean, we can expand it for the full thing because there will be like an hour maybe of different scenarios, different situations, different approaches and theories. So, yeah. So £20.
Yes.
Cool. That is the final price. Cool. Okay.
19.99.
Oh yeah, 9.99. It's like a logical price though.
Let's do 1999.
Wait, that will mess up our financial projections. It's fine. Just minus 1p. Okay, yeah, so the marketing statement.
So it's not only will we try to overcome a problem, we will give various examples of ways to deal with certain situations. So this will appeal to more employers, as everyone has a different way and style of acting in these situations. So hopefully, like, we're not just like stereotyping one type of like personality or characteristic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going at it from different angles.
Okay. I like that approach.
Yeah.
It's very broad.
Yeah.
So then hopefully, like, one of the methods could like inspire the company or like the HR people, because then they can think, oh, like, we can actually use this, and it's not just one main approach. So obviously the market's segmented, so obviously we're focused on the harassment area, and so like that's the target market, and like appeal to bigger companies. So like obviously like we could it's the advertising part, so like leaflets, maybe if there's like training days and
That's a good idea, training days, yeah.
that sort of thing.
Maybe inductions for jobs.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And like interview techniques, and like because you know how they ask like the random questions, like if you were in this situation, so that sort of thing I thought we could do for implementing strategies to target them. And then the competition is just other DVDs, and then there's substitutes, so like websites, which were most of them, and like books.
Okay.
And then annual reports I struggled with,
Yeah.
because there were nothing.
No.
Like I went on Google Scholar, everything. Just looking
What
at
about the
website.
company that made the CVD or any of these
So I
websites?
could go
Are they
on,
big companies or are they just?
They were like, so I've written down, so like, I don't even know how to say that one. It's a personal website with short clips, deals with challenges faced by employers and possible culture rises. ACAS, they provide advice, training, consultation and other services.
Do you know if any of them are public limited companies or they're quite big? Because if they are, that's the only way you'll be able to find annual reports. So
Yeah, so should I go and see if they're public or?
yeah, try and find that out. And then you might be able to find a report and see how well they're doing financially and whether there's
Because that's what I
demand for
thought,
it.
and then I thought like if I even like searched like just like how, what's the word, like even if they're useful at all, like if companies even use them.
Yeah.
So I've tried to go at different approaches, but nothing comes up.
Maybe try and look at databases to see any statistics on sales or.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what the videos you looked at? What was their content like? What sort of harassment? Was it sexual
Really
harassment?
brief, like sexual.
Sexual harassment.
How do they show that?
And it's just like
Was
the
it
stuff they
verbal?
said.
Okay.
Yeah, like verbal.
Okay.
And like obviously if like a person's wearing like a short skirt or
Yeah.
something, like it's just the inappropriate comments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Does anyone have any tips on improving the marketing statement? You quite happy with it? I think it covers pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Really good. Can you write all of this up into a document?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do for mission, vision,
Yeah, is
and then
everything?
everything.
Because at the end you're going to have to produce a marketing statement
That's
with
what I was
everything
looking
in it.
at, yeah,
So
last night.
this is all adding like up to that.
Because it's the
So,
documents, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you add 1 to 9
1 to 9.
and no
Or
word
is it 10?
limit. 1 to 9, no word limit
Okay.
on those documents.
You read the butcher guide. No, that's awesome.
So find out these and then
Yeah, just try and find the
statistics or
sales.
something.
Yeah.
Sales.
Try and identify proof of demand and whether.
Then that's also a bit hard because if they're all on websites and people are just going on them, then it's hard to see.
I'm trying to think of like some other websites you could look at to see what they're doing about this. Maybe sexual harassment websites. So think of it as like a victim's point of view,
Yeah.
and maybe try and see what resources are out there to help them.
Okay, yeah.
And do you think you might be able to get some insight on whether this product will prevent that from happening in the future.
Yeah, or like what if like I like try to find, I know you probably won't be able to, like if like people have been victims of like sexual harassment at work, like if there's somewhere online where they like not stated it but like
Yeah, I know
go
what
on
you mean,
like
yeah.
almost like counselling, not counselling.
Well, look at that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are mostly, like, when I searched about harassment, there are lots of interviews that, no, to be honest, I did not have a look on YouTube, but like written interviews,
Oh, okay.
like, yeah, basically many interviews, and they say what do they feel and everything.
Yeah.
So
That would be useful. Maybe you can look into that and just try and get an in-depth view of how they're feeling, so we can capture that in the script.
Do we have any ideas about what we're going to do in the video? Like, are we going to do just a few scenarios, or should we do a couple scenarios and a famous scenario at the end?
Let's go through the
Related.
research first, and then we'll
Okay.
decide.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you do that?
yeah, there are lots of like interpersonal conflict, but as you can see, harassment, we can show many like scenarios in the video. Like for example, let's say it's a five minute video, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's say, like if you counted 2 minutes is a lot, like for a video. So we can do, for example, 2 minutes a sexual harassment, something, like an interview or something. And then we can do, for example, verbally, for example, about a drug or alcohol related behavior. And it can be in the harassment, you know.
What
As
do you
a
mean? What do you
reason.
mean?
But that won't be sexual, it will just be another form of... But how would that work?
Yeah,
in
like I
harassment?
mean, we don't just use one kind of harassment. Like
Oh,
we
but I
can do
think-
two, so that
What are,
Okay,
what
yeah,
are
but
other
choose-
types of harassment?
sexual tensions and harassment, verbally abusing or making depreciating remarks to a coworker.
So that's a good one, but we can relate that to sexual comments, because I think we should just stick to one, because Gary said last week that we only have time to
Yeah.
really explore one in depth, and that's how you get...
I think we should just do sexual harassment then.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just focus
That's just
on that.
obvious as well, and it's just like easy to show what's going on. Like, someone could just be making a comment about,
Yeah.
you know, someone dressed and how they're dressed, and then that's
Actually,
just
I
done.
have a good, I was thinking that what if a girl, she wants to have more hours to work, like it's a part-time job, but she wants a full-time job. And the boss can be like, oh, well, if you're nice, well, I can give you more, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It
That's what
doesn't,
we'll
and
do tonight.
doesn't have to be that someone's wearing a short skirt or anything, it can be,
Yeah, something not so obvious.
Yeah.
For, like,
Yeah.
exactly.
said.
Because if it is obvious, they can just go to the HR and be like, yeah, he literally told me this, whereas if you just, you know, be a little bit discreet about it, just like, oh yeah, if you're nice and like,
I don't think like people actually, like girls actually go to work in short skirts anymore.
Yeah, but they might have like,
It could be tight or something.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
could be
tight,
anything,
yeah,
like
but like
a blouse which is just
Yeah.
open.
Or we could do something not that obvious at all, because I was watching this Oprah interview, and basically she was discriminated against because of her sex when she had her first job in TV, like in the 80s I think, and basically she was being paid less than the male that she was working with, and then she approached her boss and asked him why she was getting paid less, and his response was, do you have a mortgage, do you have kids? And she was like, no, and he was like, fine, well then you're not going to get a pay rise.
but that,
So that's just,
is that
We-
sexual
it's not sexual, it's
harassment?
gender, but
Yeah.
like,
but we might as well show it in like a blatant way, because then it's just easier for us and everyone can like see what's coming across. I mean, we could do, if we're going to do a few scenarios, we could do like a blatant way, like talking about how they're dressed, then we could do one like a little bit more discreet. But like the more obvious we make it, the easier it's going to be for people to watch it, and it's going to be probably more entertaining as well.
Yeah, and then also like the methods, like you probably give like a few methods if it's like an obvious reason, like the different approaches to how to handle it.
But what do you guys think is the most obvious thing that would happen in real life? We need to be realistic, it needs to be relevant to like what people feel. You understand what I mean?
Would it
Like
be something verbal?
in
if
that
someone said something?
situation. I don't, like how often do you think it would happen that someone's actually harassing you because you wear a tight skirt or something like that? It doesn't happen. Like I
well, in
don't
my
I don't- I
certain
think it probably
industries,
does
I
happen.
mean,
Does.
I think
If
it
it's-
definitely happens.
yeah.
yeah, if there's something more male dominated, like maybe computing, I don't know, that's wrong like scenario, but I have a friend who studies computer science, and she's like the only girl out of like a class of like 100 guys, so like that happens, so that can happen in the workplace as well, because it can continue.
Yeah, obviously.
So
but I
in
mean,
male
like,
dominated industries,
yeah,
Yeah.
but the way to approach a girl, like in a sexual harassment kind of way, would they be too obvious about it? Like, why we need to make
Yeah,
I
it
don't think it would be
Exactly.
physical. I think it would be quite sly.
Is
It's
that
like
right?
sly remarks.
Like verbally abusing.
Yeah. And
Maybe.
that's why I think that it needs to be very realistic. Because if we watch movies, then yeah, obviously the sexual harassment would be spot on, and it would be like they touch you or something like that. But how is it in the real life?
Well, I mean, you're always hearing news stories. I feel like politicians doing it, like, you know, maybe like a little touch or something. I reckon it does happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
But
reckon
how
most
often?
women would say that probably they've been like something sexual harassment-ish like ways, whether it's like really blatant or not that blatant.
Yeah.
I reckon a lot of them would say that it's happened to them.
But what
Probably. I
would
don't know
be
for a fact.
the
but-
biggest issue? Because
Yeah, it probably mostly will be verbal.
Yeah.
But we could just chuck in one, like, don't know, just like.
because if most are verbal, then that's what we need to go.
Yeah,
Because
maybe we
that's the
can-
people that's gonna buy our book.
Yeah.
It's because, oh, this is verbal abuse and this is how we're gonna, like, this
Yeah.
is a solution.
Yeah, but we want to cover all aspects of it. Like, we want to cover if someone's verbally sexually harassed. We want to cover if someone's like touched, everything. Do you know what I mean? You want to cover all
If
of
we
it.
can
sexual
do that
harassment.
during the 5 minutes, then that's great.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, each scenario, how long is that really going to be? It can be like just, it could be like a minute, couldn't it?
It could
Just
be
a
like 20
little-
seconds for each
Yeah,
clip.
little
Yeah.
conversation, and that's it, done.
Usually with
But will we
sexual-
have time to show the solutions as well?
Yeah, because say if it's like
I
a
reckon so.
a
Should
really
we try and
short
like
clip
plan
or
this
something.
out, like
Yeah.
a timeline? So should we do like, do we need an introduction for maybe 30 seconds to the
Yeah.
video
Could you just have like the title, like just sexual harassment
in the workplace?
in the workplace, and then
Or we could have like two of us just say like, this video is like blah blah blah.
We can have like a narrator.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. We could have one or two people just narrating quick for the beginning and then at the end or something like that.
So we can do 30 seconds at the beginning and the end.
Mm. Yeah.
so that's
So that's a minute off already, just explaining and concluding.
So I guess you almost just want to do 2 clips then.
Yeah, so we can do one that is verbal and we can
One
do
not touching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I reckon we could probably do more than 2 clips. I reckon they're going to be really short. I
Yeah.
reckon it's
Depends
going to be
how
a
good the
few
actor
lines
is.
each.
But we
Like-
need to
It's gonna be
explain
a
the
few
effects
lines
as well, so we could have like, you know, like in Crime Watch, and it's like an interview, and with the victim basically just talking through their experiences, how they felt, their insight, and what they want to happen to solve the problem. So we could have that, so we could have like a video explaining the situation, so like an actual demonstration for maybe 20 seconds of the abuse, and then we can have the victim's response to that, and then solutions on how to maybe combat that.
The clip with the verbal one, and then it can come like a question, like, do you think this is sexual harassment? And then you do the second clip, that's the touching one, and you have another one, do you think this is sexual harassment? Like, you kind of
Yeah.
confuse them a bit, because obviously both are sexual
I
harassment.
really like that idea.
But you need to like, how are people aware that just verbally abusing someone, this is a sexual harassment? Are they aware of that?
So
Maybe that's
scenario
why
one.
it's a problem. They don't think it's sexual harassment.
Another way we could have maybe the narrator at the beginning, like explaining what the video is about, and then we could do a scenario. Then the narrator could come back in and be like, "This is a discreet or whatever. This is like whatever type of sexual harassment it is." And then they could have like just say like a couple laws about it or something like that, like be more factual about it, and like a couple laws about why this is wrong, something like that. Then we could do another scenario, and the narrator could come in again after
Do you
that.
think we can
explain
do
it again.
all of that in like 2 minutes per scenario?
I don't know.
Because
Depends
in,
on your
okay,
script
so in the
writings.
2 minutes,
Do like, so obviously there's going to be 30 seconds at the beginning and end.
Yeah.
And then we could do 30-second clip, if that, and then after that, like 30 seconds of the narrator, whoever it is, like explaining a bit about it and saying about laws and stuff,
yeah.
and then another scenario and another explanation.
Okay, that makes sense.
So 30
30 seconds for the intro, and then 30 for each of the scenarios of actually showing it.
Yeah, 30 seconds for each saying the laws. For each. 30 seconds or yeah, 30 seconds.
For demonstration for both. Okay, so then we still have 3 minutes? So that's 1.5 minutes left. No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, wait.
Yeah, but like we're estimating.
Yeah,
we're
so you
not
have 2
sure
minutes
if
left.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
30 seconds.
No, I'm just trying to create
Yeah.
like
And
a
does it have to
plan.
be exactly like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Because like we'll be having like, should we have like our names at the end or whatever? Like the cast?
Oh.
Direct.
like
Yeah.
credited.
Yeah, like the credits. Are we gonna have that?
Are we going to have like,
We're gonna need to put that.
Yeah.
don't we have to make a thingy, like a picture?
We can get creative with the credits.
So you have to make like a
The gram, something gram.
something like that, but just like a picture of like, what our company, like a label that you'd have like this.
A logo.
Did we have to,
Like a
did we have to
logo.
do that? Did we have to do that? I thought
Yeah.
we did have to do that. So we can put that up at the beginning, like whatever we think we're gonna make, we can just flash that
Or
up
at the end,
beginning
you
and
put
then do it,
like
and then
this productions.
We also need
With
like a
logo.
name, I think,
Yeah, we
for
need a name,
like
yeah.
our business.
Yeah.
So we can have the logo and the name
Yeah.
under it. That could be like the starting.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the plan of the 2 scenarios. So it'll be a 30-second video of actually showing the demonstration, and then we'll have someone explaining the effects.
Yeah, we could have like two of us, just like you know, both of them saying a few lines about it each.
Okay, so we'll do that for like a minute.
Yeah, but yeah, and then I mean, if we have more time left, we could do another one, and then the same sort of.
Yeah, we're definitely doing 2.
Yeah, so we could just do another one if we have more time left.
I can do the logo and I can show you, like I'll post it on Facebook, you can see it, and if you
Yeah,
want
you
any
can do
changes
that.
or something.
Should we think of the name? Because the logo, do you reckon that's the like link with the name sort of
Oh
thing?
yeah, do we need
Yeah,
that?
we need to pick the name.
No, I can do the logo like general, like about people, like something like that,
Yeah.
and then you can make up the name,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Do you think we should have the victim's point of view in the video with 30 seconds saying how they felt? Do you think that's worth it? I think
I
it's
don't
really
like
depth.
to have both points of view.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, the victim and...
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the person.
The,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because they could just be like, I didn't really like it. I just said, made a comment for it was a
Okay.
joke sort of thing.
So,
Because they might just say something
Yeah,
as a joke,
'cause-
but then
yeah,
it's obviously
exactly.
sexual harassment.
like they have their own reasons.
What if you like twisted it up and it was like the woman who did it like was saying the stuff to the man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know
that
what
was
I
we
mean?
can do that for the
Man
second
can do
version.
that.
Yeah.
So we don't end like we don't be like sexist or whatever.
Yeah.
They're saying, oh, like, do you think all men do it? So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm
But
sure.
how often does that happen again? We need to be realistic.
I reckon
Like,
that
we need to
happens.
have.
I
I
reckon
think
it
it would be
happens.
laughed at though in a training scenario.
But then if you
No,
think
Are we
about
taken
it,
seriously?
I reckon it happens.
I reckon it happens because if you think about it, like this sounds really bad, but like rape is mostly women who like go in and say because men are too ashamed to be like their
Yeah.
victim. It's kind of like that in this scenario. Like people are like less.
No, but as
safe
well,
to-
maybe
But
men would just
isn't it-
brush it off. They would just think it's
Yeah.
alright if like, a woman's done it to them.
But then like everyone still needs to consider that like what they say could be taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have a rough plan? So we're going to do 30 seconds for the intro and at the end, so that's 4 minutes. And then for each of the 2 scenarios, we're going to show 30 seconds of the actual demonstration of the sexual assault, 30 seconds of the narrator explaining what's been happening, and then like interviews with the predator and the victim for 30 seconds each, which is 2 minutes. So
She said a better word.
what did you say?
Abuser.
Abuser over predator.
So we're going to do 2 scenarios, and then one of the scenarios we're going to be saying, the victims will be saying how they felt.
No, both.
They don't feel them. Are we going to reckon fit that all in?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
guys
we'll
wanna-
try.
Do you want to do the video in a way like that's like we're actually in a workplace, like we act. What's that show called?
The Office.
The Office, exactly like that. You know how they
Yeah.
interview like the workers or whatever.
It'd be quite hard to film that scenario. I don't think that would work. I mean, you can't exactly just go to an office and just. How could we create that? How could we get that set? Maybe we can like book a boardroom at the
Yeah.
HB and like a meeting room or something,
Yeah.
and then try and make it quite professional. It has some extras.
So that'd be easiest for us to do is in a room like this, like a boardroom place.
Yeah.
So we just do it there.
Yeah.
Let's plan who will say what, and like the introduction, the...
Yeah.
When does
Shall
the
we-
video have to be done by?
Like the filming, like I can't schedule that for week 6.
So 2.
That's right, so you have 2 weeks to
Yeah.
write the script and make sure it's all good and stuff, and then we'll film it.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be
filming
writing
week
a script,
6.
right?
Yeah.
So how are you gonna do this? Are we gonna do it together, like, or are you just gonna write it?
Well,
and
I just
envision
write
the
it and then
scenarios?
think of some like a few scenarios, and then I'll just bring it to the group in like 2
Yeah.
weeks' time. We'll just put some ideas and stuff.
Like you can do like how many people are we gonna be in the video? Do we all have to participate?
No, I imagine it'll be like first like someone getting harassed, and the next one. So it'll be 2 really.
So you do like the manuscript, and then you can just put it, and we'll just pick it up, and we'll see who's gonna say who's gonna say what.
Instead of like putting the whole mission statement, vision and marketing, I've just like highlight some keywords from each of them, and then so you can have like a little bubble kind of thing.
See, I need to be creative. I have no idea how to do this. Like it needs to be professional, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
So
Oh,
so nothing, not
For the
nothing.
poster.
Yeah. Can it be colourful? Can it be?
Yeah.
Can it?
Make it quite engaging, and,
That,
but not
have
multicolored.
you heard of the program called Prezo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you? Preza. It's the thing that Helena.
Yeah.
Because that's what
use
I
that
used in one of my
presentation.
presentations last year, and it's like a really cool way instead of just doing normal boring.
So you can actually make a poster.
So you can
on it.
actually do a poster on it, and Gary said last week, he said that's a good place to do it as well.
That's not okay.
Crazy.
So for the presentation,
No,
You're-
wait. Can we just talk about the poster for that?
oh yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. Oh right, yeah, poster.
So
Okay.
let's
Let's actually cut this out because I
Yeah.
Now and then.
So I need to know what we've done
Yeah.
because I'm thinking I'm gonna do like week 1 we did this, week 2 we
Yeah.
did that, week 3 we did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it? A mind, not a mind map?
Yeah.
Almost a mind map.
Yeah, we can do a mind map.
So you could have the
I mean, just
title
have
of a
loads of
project
pictures.
and then
Yeah.
just have like a spiral around with
Yeah.
like bubbles, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And because he said like loads of images as well, like, didn't he?
So around each bubble you can have little icons or pictures of what we've done that week.
We can do pictures.
Or pictures. Like, you know, clip art.
Yeah, but what kind of pictures?
Okay, so for the week we discussed scripts, you can have like a book, like a pen.
Yeah.
Who else have ideas? Yeah.
So,
People.
no people.
No people.
No people.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I
also,
was,
sorry to interrupt, but like the mind map, then remember he also said like a timeline, so it just depends. You could like think of like various ideas right now, and then you could finalise them, or like just once we give you all the stuff.
You can maybe have 2 circles. So the first circle is what we've done, and the outer circle could be what we still have to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so
like
a
in
big
like
egg.
an egg.
Yeah, like an egg.
Really?
So with the title in the middle, what we've done, and then on the outer edge, just what we still have to do.
Like the beginning. End.
The end. So symbolic.
That's so
meaning.
cute.
But the thing is,
Philosophical.
how would I be able to make that look good?
Yeah, because I guess like you just have like loads of images.
Yeah, and it's gonna be cramped, and it's just gonna be like you have to like read like this to follow.
Oh
Yeah.
no, make sure the text is all the same way. Like don't.
Yeah, but then we won't have enough. No.
What do you
Like
mean?
I like the mind map idea better.
That
Yeah.
is.
And then you just like follow it around. Or like you know like just a cycle.
Okay.
You could have just like a massive circle with like the cycle.
So are you going to be doing it like week 1 we did this, week 2 we did this?
Yeah.
Or you could do it as in like marketing, and this is where we are so far. You could be like, we started doing it, blah blah blah, and then we do like for each
Yeah,
section.
that's a good
Just
idea.
do it like that, so show where we are on each thing. and
Oh
then-
yeah, I can like do a mind map that
And then
says
have each-
marketing and then what we've done, and then I can do
In another
a-
colour you can say what we still have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, did you say another colour?
Yeah.
Yeah, such a
So
good idea.
for green
okay.
is what we've done, and then in red is what we still have to do.
Yeah.
So that's another way of demonstrating that.
So can you guys just make a document of what you've done?
Yeah, sure.
Just
In
upload
your-
everything onto the Facebook
Yeah,
group
so I
that I
can just-
created, so
Start doing it.
everything's in one place.
Yeah, I tried to
Can I
find
borrow
like
it?
about famous people, like
Yeah.
incident, but it was hard. Like I did not really find. So if you can, like like each of you just try to just search like quickly about
Well, there's
something.
that Sky Sports one with Andy Gray. That's the sexual harassment one.
Yeah, I mean something other than that.
Well, then there's like, I'm sure there's like loads of politicians ones I've heard about. Loads of them I've heard about.
Okay, so yeah, we'll look for other people and then send it to you. So next week, tonight I'm going to upload the job specs and the job descriptions onto the Facebook group. And for next week, I'll create the rationale of job allocations. Emily, can you?
4 Ps.
Yeah, 4 Ps. So place, price, promotion, product. So we've already done the pricing. Just think a bit about packaging and place. And then can you upload this video and last week's video by Sunday? So then we can all do the journals as well. Do you know that you have to do the personal journals at home?
Yeah, like I started them.
Yeah, when I upload the videos, just like go through
I'll
the
add-
videos.
Okay.
Can I just
Yes,
make a
then.
note? I'm gonna start doing the poster next week because Gary did say to wait until week 5. So include what you've done, what you're gonna do for next week as well.
Yep. Joe, do you want to start working on ideas for the script?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just bring that in for next week. That's it.